Thank you. Next, we have our Pledge of Allegiance. We led by Ms. Parker. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we'll move on to number 3, board members. Ms. Brown, we'll move to 3A, our 5-year strategic plan.
All right, so good evening, everyone. Thank you, Board Chair, to the school board members. I am excited this evening for us to bring forward the first step in our work to build a 5-year strategic plan here for Petersburg City Public Schools. As you know, we put out an offer for everyone who was interested to be able to bid upon our process for developing our 5-year strategic plan. And so we're excited to introduce Hazard Young and Atia and Associates this evening, who is the company that will work hand in hand with the Petersburg City Public School Board, with me and with the entire team, and of course our wonderful school community, to build out the next steps for what will be our roadmap for the next 5 years as we focus on the most important things here in Petersburg, which starts with our kids. And so with that, I'd like to just call everyone's attention to the fact that we have with us this evening on screen, I think that's Dr. Monica Brown, who will be joining us on screen this evening and supporting, and we also have Dr. Natalie Holleran, who is here with us as well, and of course, they both will tell you a little bit about them. But we have started this work. We started this work a couple of weeks ago, and of course this work is being led by our Dr. Yasmin Gay, our Chief of Staff, who will be overseeing the work for supporting this ultimate endeavor of getting our 5-year roadmap for where we're going to be and what we're trying to accomplish and what is our North Star here in Petersburg City Public Schools. So with that, I will turn it over to Dr. Natalie Holleran, who's we're excited to have her here on site, and Dr. Brown to have you on screen. And so with that, school board members, let's talk about our 5-year strategic plan. Thank you.
Good evening, and thank you so much, Dr. Superintendent Brown, for having us here today. We're very excited, and thank you for having and entrusted in HYA to guide you through this process as our collaborative partner. So as we go through the presentation, before I get started, as you can see, we have again Dr. Monica Brown, who is my colleague, and we're the team that's going to guide you through this process. And this is definitely an input session. That's what we want to bring clarity to at the beginning. We drafted this information, we've met with school leadership teams, we've been gathering some information, and this stage is phase 1, where we gather information and input from you, school board, so we can proceed with our next steps, and that's what we're going to cover, all those key 4 areas tonight. Because as we know with strategic planning, it's about unity, having a shared vision and purpose. It cannot come from one perspective. We have to ensure that all stakeholder groups are included and have input, because that's how buy-in is incorporated and accepted. So we're going to try to keep that in mind as we progress through this process tonight. Again, effective strategic planning creates a shared vision, because we need to have that shared vision so we can move forward. The shared purpose, agreed upon priorities and goals, because it's going to be agreed upon as a team so we can all proceed and execute with action. We're going to have some strategies and measures that we're going to create also along the way towards the ending of this. And then we're going to take a close look at the impact. When we start gathering and looking through this and proceeding through, what is the impact our plan is going to make as we proceed through this 5-year plan? And that's the team, Dr. Monica Brown, myself, and Lori Kimbrell. We're the team that's supporting you through this process. And we look forward, of course, to helping you build through this with impact and student achievement. And we just want to share with you a little bit that we know research is clear that in order for student growth to be impacted, we need to have these 3 key components. We have to have a focused curriculum, effective instruction, and a culture for learning, including effective operations. You can't have one without the other. It's a collaborative effort. Now, this is a 4-phase process. We're in phase 1 right now, which is the organizational readiness. in which we're, looking at, we'll go through the different phases later, but it's organizational readiness. And then we have inclusive engagement, where we gather input from all the stakeholders. And then phase 3, when we focus on the future, look at all the data and gather information. And then the 4th phase is implementation and evaluate. Let's take a look at organizational readiness, and that's where we are now. This is the introductory meeting, and this is where we're updating and informing the board so you can have input again as we go through this. And as part of the deliverables in phase 1, we have a communication toolkit, which we've presented to leadership, so they have that, which is have all the tools that we've already crafted as a draft for you and templates you can send out to the community and all the different phases that we're going to engage you in. You have that toolkit that you can utilize that's already outlined for you as a template. We want to finalize our timelines. We're going to talk about that tonight with your input. And then the engagement plan. We're going to talk about that as well. So these are our 3 key deliverables from phase 1 as part of the readiness phase. Now, if you take a look, and I think, board, you might have a copy of this. This is also up here. We want to go through the timeline. So this is very important. I'm going to go through this timeline, and we want to just talk and discuss if this is a good timeline with the division so we can proceed. We had an initial introductory meeting where Dr. Brown and I met with Dr. Gay and also Superintendent Brown. So we had our first introductory meeting. Shared folder was created where we started inputting information. The division has already start sharing some data with us, because as you can see, we didn't just wait till tonight. I mean, we're taking action right away. We have the kickoff workshop session and board introductory and input session, which is tonight, and that's September 23rd. Now for phase 2, what we're gonna do, because after tonight, we transition into phase 2, so this is a very important section. We're gonna have individual interviews. We're gonna have focus groups. We're gonna have some environmental scanning of all the various data that we're collecting. We're gonna talk about a lot of this later when we go through the different phases. Community forums in person, which can also be in Zoom. And we're gonna have some community surveys. And again, a lot of the templates we've already created, so you'll just need to format them Petersburg way. And as I go through this, if you can look at the timelines that we've established, because pretty much as we're transitioning into phase 2, we've allocated September 24th through October 17th as being phase 2. And we're again gonna talk about specifics at the next slide. And then once we have the focus groups, gather the data, we'll make sure that a steering committee in which the division will determine who will the steering committee will consist of, then that's when we will send that data to them. They'll take a look at all the various data, and then we'll come on site, Dr. Brown and I, on November 10th and 11th, take all that data, sit for 2 days with the steering committee, and that's when we'll draft the initial plan for the board to take a look at. And then once we draft that initial plan, that's where we have December 3rd allocated in the timeline. Then we will bring that to you to take a look at once all this phase 2 has been done, data collecting, meeting with teams and everyone. We'll bring it to you to take a look at, and let's see if you approve it. And if you approve the draft that's been created, and then that's when we'll proceed with finalizing everything and presenting it for board approval on December 17th. So we like to work fast. We know that student achievement and all the support and impact needs to happen fast. So the schedule looks tight, but we're ready and we've already begun the process. And then what's gonna happen is after the board approves the plan on December 17th, Dr. Brown and I will come back in January for 2 days, and then that's when we will really sit through with administrators. That's the division decides who's gonna be part of that team, and then we'll take the information that was gathered, that was board approved on the 17th, and then that's when we will really take a look at the vision, mission, core values, the priorities, what are the big areas of focus, what are the action, measurable objectives, what are the action steps. That's when we're gonna get very deep and specific. So again, once it's approved in December before winter break, that's our target date, we will come back, and then that's when we'll sit with the team for 2 days and flesh out all the specifics and key objectives and everything. Any questions on that timeline before I proceed? Because again, it's tight, but it's doable and we're ready. Okay.
No question on the timeline. Can you tell us about HYA and tell us who you all are, your background?
Okay, well, HYA, we provide lots of support in the educational setting. We conduct searches, we do strategic planning, we do professional coaching. We are your educational partner. Whatever support's needed at the division level, we're there to support you. Our team members consist of everyone from superintendents, chiefs, everyone who's held the positions that we provide support to all across the U.S., not just in Virginia. So that's who we are. We're a search team who have the experience, the tools, the resources, and we're your thought partner. We don't just come in and say, here it is. We roll up our sleeves. We're going to be spending 2 days in October, coming to the board meetings like now. We're spending 2 days in January. We're going to come in and make sure the support is needed so your 5-year strategic plan is ready to roll, and it's a living, breathing document. So that's HYA. Is that okay?
Yes. Now introduce yourselves, your backgrounds.
Oh, okay, well, I'll go first and then I'll let Dr. Brown go. My apologies. I'm Natalie Holleran. I've done 34 years in the Virginia educational system. I started out as a teacher. I was a reading specialist. I was a elementary school administrator at the central office level. I was a senior director of federal programs. I managed $30 million. If you're familiar with the priority schools and focus schools and all that, that was my lane. And then the Board of Education, BDOE, had a position available and liked my work, working with priority focus schools and improvement. And I joined the State Department team for 5 years where I worked with priority schools, focus schools, CSI, TSI. I was part of the team that wrote the state grant that actually provided the initial support to schools of improvement. So I come with that background, and then I said, well, I want to be part of the solution and not always just the compliance part of it. So my last 4 years, I transitioned back into the schools where I was an assistant superintendent of federal programs and human resources, and then my last step was chief of human resources. So that's my background. Now I'll turn it over to Dr. Brown.
Hello everyone, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, welcome, and my apologies for being off-site, a couple meetings scheduled for the same night, so I'm very happy to be here. As I said, my name is Monica Brown, and I started off as an educator in Virginia, in Lynchburg, but soon moved to New Jersey, where I became a principal and then superintendent of schools in northern New Jersey, in the same district for almost a decade. Started my 10th year before I retired. It was in Upper Saddle River, which is in northern Bergen County, here in New York City. I retired in 2017, and since then, I've been working with HYA. I've been a part of teams or led teams in over 50 districts to run superintendent searches. I've also done several strategic plans everywhere from New York to Virginia. And I'm really excited to be working with all of you, with Dr. Gay and Ms. Brown. They've been just a pleasure to work with so far, so we can't wait to get to know Petersburg better so that we can help develop a plan that you all can believe in and work toward over the next 5 years.
Okay.
Thank you. I just want to say, there's one thing you left out. Where did you graduate from?
Oh, behold, Norfolk State, Spartan. There's another Spartan in the house, yes.
And you're part of one of the ones who are leading the process.
Absolutely, thank you.
Look at what Norfolk State released.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. So as we transition again, after tonight's meeting, we're going to transition right into phase 2. So after tonight, we're ready to roll. That includes the action steps such as October 17th and 16th and 17th, we're going to have the interviews, the focus groups, the surveys going out, and again, we have that toolkit with all the templates ready for you, the environmental scan of all the data. So thank you to Dr. Jackson for sending all that data. We've already had that shared folder. We already started gathering data, analyzing it. We've started, we're rolling. And then the data analysis part is part of that as well. And that's when after we HYA analyze the data, that's when we're going to send that data out to the steering committee. So again, you all need to decide who that's going to be. Not tonight, but on November 7th, that evening, we're going to send that out to the steering committee in a shared Google folder, which is a Friday, for them to look through it. And then that Monday and Tuesday, the 10th and the 11th, I believe that's Monday and Tuesday, Dr. Brown and I will be on site in a room, and we're gonna go through all the data, all the information that we've gathered and stored and organized, so we can go through it and create that draft for you, for the board for December 3rd. And those are the deliverables. You're gonna have a survey report, a qualitative data report, and an environmental scan report, which means covering all the various data from all impactful features and things that impact student achievement and growth for the division. And these are some of the diversity groups that we're gonna, that we put into what you'll see in the planning document, like students, families, all the stakeholder groups, the board, the unions, because again, like we said, it's a collaborative effort and we need all the voices so we can make sure we have buy-in. Now, phase 3 is the phase after, again, we've gathered the data, we have a draft, Dr. Brown and I on site for 2 days to meet with the steering committee. Phase 3 is data workshop. We're gonna meet, have the board approve everything. We're gonna plan and develop the mission, the values, priorities, objectives, give an update to you as well, for you to take a look at where we are so far and provide input. And the deliverables will be a final strategic plan for board approval, the portrait of a graduate, mission, core values, priorities, and objectives. So when we bring that draft to you on the 3rd, you'll look through it, you say yes, let's proceed, or if adjustments are needed, Dr. Brown and I will tweak and make adjustments wherever it's needed, and on the 7th, we will come back in for board approval. So the plan is before your winter break, you have an approved board strategic plan. And then the next phase is phase 4. Again, once we get that in January is when, again, we come on site for those 2 days and help you actually get to the meat of it, is what I call it, the specifics. And again, ensuring that all voices are heard. And if you look at, this is the template graph we like to share, that we have phase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up, showing you the different layers. And just to let you know, since we've began, we've had various bi-weekly meetings with superintendent, and thank you, Dr. Gay. She's been our point of contact. We've really been meeting with every week, bi-weekly. We have a shared folder again, a Google one, where we've uploaded documents, the division's uploading documents. We have templates ready to make it very, not easy, but not having you to have to create all these documents. We have the templates. You just plug in your name and we can, the surveys and all. And then the post-plan support that's there is check-in quarterly the first year. Additional workshops or services are available. Those are things we can talk about, as well as implementation support, some coaching and data services. Those are some of the things we're going to talk about once we get through the first finish line, is what we call it. And here is a link to the proposed engagement plan that I would like for us to take a look at now. If you all could pull up the engagement. Oh, the copies are coming? Okay, someone's making a copy for you, but you can see it up here as well. And I would just like to go through this engagement plan with you. And again, we really value your input. So this is the plan that we drafted along with Dr. Gay, and taking a look at some, current division data, and talking a lot about how we need to have all of the stakeholders involved. The engagement plan has the following elements. First, we're going to have some in-depth 1-hour interviews with key stakeholders. And these are the stakeholders that we have noted. And I'm going to refer to Dr. Brown and Dr. Gay and the board as well. If you'd like to take a look along the way, just so you can kind of see, these are the people who we have.
I do have questions. I did read over this, and one of the questions I had, I was sharing with Ms. Brown. Why? The question is, help me to understand why Shirley Crawford is the only community member. Go down. I think she's the only community member that's shown. Why is she the only one for the first? I guess this is the first.
Okay, someone scroll. Oh, I'm not. Oh,
can you go?
Am I able to?
Can you go up?
There you go. Oh, go up.
She is the only one. Go up. So are we only going to use one person?
Well, the division tell us, this is just a pre-planning meeting we had with the division, and we put information. That's why we're here, for the input from the board to say who else would you like to add, or remove some names or add the names. This is what this is about. So we definitely welcome your feedback.
So
You'd like to come up?
Okay, yeah. So tell us about the group for number 1. It's only, like you said, 1-hour interview, but only those individuals that are 1 through 4.
So right now, Dr. Gay will speak to that. And so this is the draft
Thank you, Superintendent. So this is what we consider like a best guess. It's like a frame for board members to react to. And there's a certain amount of people that we want within the steering committee, so between 12 and 15. And so again, to Dr. Howland's point and the superintendent, this is the opportunity for board members to say, hey, I think we need to shift this person or that person. I think this person would be great in this setting. And you will do that throughout the whole engagement plan. So this is not just a plan to say, hey, we did the plan and we want you to look at what we did. This is a collaborative opportunity. This is to say we want feedback from the board on the design of the engagement plan. As Dr. Halloran said, this is our first step of engagement, and we started with you all.
So I can note adjustments now, or if you rather discuss it later and tell us, but remember, after this part is approved, we'll shift to phase 2, but if you need some time, that's okay to talk about it.
So help me to understand, for the 1 hour interview, are you saying there's a limited number?
Well, we like to keep it at 10, like by number, we say for 10, just so we can get a nice group. Now, we can do, if you want additional people or move some people, we can do some Zooms as well if needed. But you can add other ones, but we try to keep it a little small. And if you could scroll down, we have the 7 board members, and then we have Superintendent Brown, right? And those are the groups that we have.
Thank you, Dr.
Natalie?
Yes, Dr. Brown.
I apologize, I'm having a really hard time hearing everyone, it's very scratchy. But I just wanted to make sure to let everybody know that these are the 10 interviews is what is in our contract to do. So in working with Dr. Gay, we tried to determine who the best 10 would be to have these in-depth hour-long interviews as part of phase 2. If you all would like different people interviewed to get that background, we absolutely can do that. We can also add a few more if you want, but contractually, we are doing 10 interviews and 12 focus groups. Does that help a little bit?
Because what I would like to add to what Dr. Brown said was, we have those 1 hour interviews, but if you go to number 2, if someone could scroll, we're gonna have focus groups, because I'm gonna be on site October 16th and 17th, and that whoever else you wanna add can be part of those focus groups. As many groups as, you can just categorize your groups if you want, but those are just the telephone interviews. But again, I'm gonna be on site the 16th and 17th of October, meeting with however many focus groups, however you wanna configure it, that's the division, so no one will be left out that you would like to have included. You can determine who those focus groups would be, and again, we have the templates in our shared drive that you will send it out to them, and we'll come on site the 16th, 17th, all day, and have those focus groups. You categorize them yourself.
Are you okay with the 10? I'm gonna get it, the 10 fellow.
I like the fact that they're 10 because I think that's a highly workable group. And what she's saying is if we want to include more executive people, they can be involved in a focus group.
There's gonna be 12 focus groups, so you can organize, you're contracted to have up to 12 focus groups. I'm here for 2 days. Whoever you wanna include, how you wanna configure those groups. You can have one group of community members, one group of teachers, one group of administrators. You can have up to 12. So nobody will be left out.
Okay.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
So that means that the 10, so now at this point, we know that the initial 1 hour interview will be with the 10, what we had in our contract. Thank you, Dr. Brown, for clarifying and reminding us. So now it's just, at this point, board members, are those 10 people, the people that these are the 10 as our brainstorm. Is anybody different, or do you want to change anyone out, from the 10 that are there? we'll take the 7 of you all out, and then you have a few more slots. So if you all can scroll back down, scroll up to, yeah, these numbers right here,
Go back.
go back, go
The
down,
other way.
go back down the other way, take it right here, right here, right here, right, yes, right there, keep going, up a little bit more, there you go. Up, sorry, down. Thank you, I don't know as well. A little bit more, perfect, right there. So, outside of the board members, for the 1 hour telephone. 1 hour. And then the other slots.
I'm just brainstorming, that's all. I'm just wondering how those, I understand, I mean, this is probably for us and for Dr. Gay also. I can see the 7 board members, the superintendent. How did the other 2 play a part into the hour interview? How were they chosen?
I mean, in our best thinking, thinking about a community member, Cheryl Crawford, who does a lot of amazing things in the community. And also to Kim Mason, who is our president of the Education Association. Usually, whether it's a union or association, they're involved in the engagement process as well with strategic plans that I've been a part of.
She can't hear.
Yep. So as we were discussing,
Yes.
and this is based on Dr. Holloman's experience and also Dr. Brown's experience as well. So this was kind of a joint best guess in who we would bring in for the 10. But again,
Recommendation.
yes, they are recommendations. Again, it's a best guess. It's totally up to you all.
It's just,
if you think.
I'm pretty sure everyone else will have questions also. But the 2 that are on there at the bottom,
Mhm.
I can see them also participating in the focus group.
And I was,
Yes.
if I could add,
Mhm.
you don't have to have 10. If you rather just have the board do the initial one-on-one interview, talk about the,
Right, because
if they scroll to the next page, you'll
PA
see,
is gonna be a part of the focus group, so I'm pretty sure that Ms. Mason is gonna be a part of that.
if that's what the board, we can do that. We have up to 10 slots. We're filling the slots, but we can just have 7 there.
She still can't hear.
And you let us know which ones you wanna move. She can change it as we're talking. So it's up to you. You can take them, move them to a focus group if you like. That's okay. That's what this is all about. We can make that adjustment.
Yes.
We're gonna have 12 focus
Yes,
groups.
which we know PA will be a focus group. We do know that.
Okay.
And if we scroll to the page 2, that does have the list of the 12, the groups that we brainstormed about, that we can make adjustments. Because Dr. Brown she can hear, she's making adjustments to the plan as we talk. That's what she's doing, so that's great.
So Dr. Brown, can you hear us?
I mean, we
Can
can't
you
hear.
hear
We
us?
can't hear you now.
Okay, gotcha. So, Dr. Brown, can you hear us?
I apologize, it's just extremely scratchy.
Okay, so they're working on it. So sorry about that. They're working on it, so.
Gina, I apologize. Would you like me to leave and try to come back in? I don't want to disturb the presentation.
You can do
Then
that.
I
That'll be
can,
good.
or I can call her from my cell phone.
Okay.
She can also call you just from the cell phone so that you can hear.
Okay. Okay, I will try that. Thank you.
So Dr. Holland, I just want to make sure so that we have up, so part of our agreement is we can have up to 10.
Yes, ma'am,
So it doesn't mean
absolutely.
that we necessarily have to, we can have up to 10. So we're saying now, it's like your board chair pictured in the board members.
That's what the chairman is saying, that's not what the board is saying.
That's not, actually, that's what I'm clarifying. So we can have up to 10. And so we can either exhaust our 10 or we can have however many. This is the feedback that you all as a board will give us now. What would you like to do as far as the numbers? But we included up to 10 slots.
I think you need to use the 10 slot. I think your choices are very good because I don't want to be so one-sided and it be all the board and the superintendent. Chair Crawford is an excellent choice for our community. And the Education Association having one person as president would be an excellent choice as far as that group being represented. So we need to have get the different opinions. I think we've reached out to the community, reached out to the Education Association, but I don't want it to be so one-sided that we just had school board, and that's it. So we need to have the community involved, and we need to have, the association involved. So I don't think it'll be a waste of time. I think it'd be beneficial just to hear what that one hour interview would be like and get that input. So the more input we have from those professionals, I think it would help us in the long run, so it won't look like we appear to be one-sided.
Can I add something to that?
Yes.
Just for clarification, the one-on-one interviews are not that much different from the focus groups. It's the same guiding questions. So the group, if some are removed from the one-on-one interviews, they'll be part of the focus group, sharing the same information, but with a team versus one-on-one. I just want to bring that clarification to you.
But
They're
it
not-
won't be repetitious we don't wanna appear one way, one side. That's what I'm saying. So
Understood.
what you did with the 10 choices are fine. If somebody's being interviewed and they're in the focus group, what's the harm?
That's the division's call. We have up to 10 in the one-on-one calls and up to 12 focus groups. So we'll have the division come back to
Because
the
I think it's very important that some of these focus groups be focused on, because our business is education. So these focus groups that you interview, the way they be selected, because different groups will have, gonna bring something different to the table. Just like, for example, like the example, if we have a focus group with staff from Warner Hill, they're gonna bring us something different from the ones with Pleasant Plain, because the makeup of what's at Warner Hill and the makeup is what's at Pleasant Plain, the experiences are quite different. You understand what I'm saying? So the thing is that same thing with, if we wanna know what's going on in the community, we got different communities in Petersburg. It's not the same all the way throughout Petersburg.
I'd like to speak to that. The 7 of us were elected to represent a board, and I don't see that those other 2 representatives have, if you will, the weight that we have. And I think their representation is important, but it can be seen through the focus group, which I understand you're saying is virtually those questionnaire surveys are the same or similar.
Absolutely.
So I really do not hold, I do not support including those 2.
We'll adjust our document if needed according to the board. If you like.
You know, it's odd that we serve in the public and we want to appear to be inclusive, not exclusive. So when I hear things like that, I wonder, what is our focus? You know, I wonder what is the focus? I want to, when we're doing education for a city, it's not just for the children, it's for the future, it's for the parents, it's for the neighbors, it's for everyone, because they're going to be recipients of this education that we provide. So the thing is that when you get input from somebody that already raised their kids, that's still living in the community, that's still dealing with kids in the community, that's very active, I would like to hear your opinion of what you have to share, because a lot of my mentors that's not acting there, that's still living in the community, they're affecting that community. And this educational system is going to affect everyone in that community. So the thing is that it's not just my opinion. On the way I grow and develop faster than anything else to be able to make a good decision for the board, I need to hear your opinion. So,
And this is not the first strategic plan that I've sat on with Petersburg City Public Schools. I've sat on 2 with Megan Walker. And each one that I've sat on, which I know you can do them different, I've always seen the board members and superintendent go first, and then everyone else is in the stakeholders group. That's why you don't cause this division by putting these extra individuals up there, because they will be a part of the stakeholders group. You always meet, the ones that, like I said, I've been on, has always been your top level, the school board and superintendent, and then you move to your stakeholders. That's what I've always seen in the three that I've worked on, the three strategic plans.
Understood, and note taken. I think just clarifying the rationale behind it was for it to be kind of like a three-legged approach, where you have school governance, right? All 7 board members who have individualized input on the strategic plan. We also wanted to address community, which has a major impact on schools, and also teachers as well, who has the greatest impact on students. So that's how we wanted to approach this first leg. But we totally take your feedback and will adjust accordingly. But I just wanted to share the rationale behind it. It wasn't at all to create any type of division. Actually, it was inclusivity. That was the purpose of it.
So I'll ask the board, so our decision moving forward, so that we can go ahead and give direction for next steps related to the outline of who we will move forward with as far as the 1 hour one-on-one conversations with our consulting group. So I'll defer to the board for next steps.
And I'm fine with it the way it is. The 2 can go ahead, and then they'll turn around and go again in the focus group, which others will not get that opportunity. So I'm fine with it, which is not fair to the others, but I'm fine with it.
That's a really good point too, Chair.
Right.
Yeah. That's really good.
Could let us know how we'd like to proceed, and we'll make the adjustments, I'm sorry, if needed.
I really would like to say what I said, support it. See, when you present something in a public meeting like this, and it's perfectly acceptable, and then we decide not to be inclusive, it make it seem like we're putting us in a position where that where Petersburg Public Schools do have some of the workers, especially workers at PEA, feel like they don't have a board. Okay, so we choose one then that you just gave them opportunity to say, okay, we want to interview you in the focus in this part of it, and the board decide not to. We already voted down quite a few things for PPA and DEA, collective bargaining, different things like that, make it look like we're taking a stance against them. So I don't want to change it because there's no more than an interview to begin with. So if it's a 1-hour interview, to be inclusive and to be open and to be and to show that we're trying to do what you just create something positive for and to move forward with communications and relationships and different things like that to make things consider public schools great, then we don't want to give the brown appearance that, okay, you be in the focus group, we don't want to listen to what you have to say. It's just one person. Because it's already known that in your expertise and your study and your suggestion that, hey, let's do this. So I don't have any problem with doing it. I'm not gonna change the thing that you suggest. I'm not gonna vote against the thing that you suggest. The board would have to do it, So I just go along with the plan as created and see how and be hopeful that things work out for them.
I guess my question would be, in this moment as superintendent, is as we have worked to, as Dr. Gay described, inclusivity, just making sure that the questions that will come up to you all specifically is to, hey, I might have been interested, I might have wanted to sit and have to get around and interview. You all anticipated the challenge with that. Just wanted to see if that would be a question that you all would have to answer as well.
I have no problem with it.
My concern is there's a natural vested interest, and I do not want that to get in the way of a strategic plan. I think we have to get a strategic plan, and I just feel like that we are the body of governors, and we can take into our consideration all of the other stakeholders, and I think that there's absolutely a need for that. I just guess I'd hate to be, I can go along, but I just feel firm about that, because I've been in groups where the loudest voice is the one that kind of rules. And I just feel that our role is to govern this whole process, and we've got to have a product, and we don't need to have stoppages, okay? And I've been in many experiences where you can have stoppages, and we shouldn't have it in this regard, but we definitely need to include all of the interest groups and focus groups.
So as Dr. Holland said, whatever you decide, we're making the changes in real time.
Yes, let's move on.
We can move on.
Keep as is with the 10, okay? Thank you. The next group, we will have 12 focus groups sessions on October 16th and 17th. And again, these are the recommended. So please take a look at the recommended groups and anyone else that you feel can fall into those groups, because you select who will be in that group, and you will again send a template out and invite them on the 16th or 17th. So if you could please take a look at the various groups that we recommended, and see if you're okay with these groups. And if anyone else you're thinking about might want to be a part of it, can fall into one of the groups, stakeholder groups.
Well, I thought we would have seen the PA up there. I don't see it. The Petersburg Education Association.
They were in the top first group, right?
Well,
No, that
That's
was
no.
That was just one
That was just
person.
one
That's what I'm
person.
saying.
Okay. Oh, yeah, we can add,
PBS.
absolutely.
Yep.
So Petersburg Education Association?
Yeah, I would replace, I don't know how you all feel, I would replace them with the Petersburg. So how many associations do we have, neighborhood associations? I don't know.
Well,
It's a lot.
a lot.
A lot of
So
active.
I don't think just putting that up there.
Okay.
A critical action plan. I see you reaching out to almost a lot of this is, community, but we need to really, when you have, teachers, I would like to hear a focus group on improving every entity of the school system, whether it's, operation, bus drivers, nutrition, teachers at each school, in different groups and stuff like that. The community, like we have that community, Tri-City communities in school, they can give us some feedback. If you do have a neighborhood association that you want to top, I don't know which one it would be, because there's so many in Petersburg. And I don't know how effective they are as you get them together, because some of them do have meetings, some of them don't have meetings, they just pass out flyers from time to time. If something changes, like zoning or something like that, they get together, and that's something they don't want or something that they do want. It's, I don't know how effective it can be there. The Kiwanis that group meets on a monthly basis, so I'm quite sure it's gonna be effective there. I would like to see at least the Cameron Foundation trustees, I would like to see that, there'll be at least one foundation on there, that, really benefit our community. And that can replace that, neighborhood association, because I don't think we're gonna go far with neighborhood association. Yeah, I'm in the neighborhood association, I can tell you right now, we don't meet like talking about, only when we have a problem. Right now, we got a rezoning issue in our area, so everybody passed out something we want or don't want. But, it would be nice to have a parental advisory council, if we had one,
make a recommendation? Because we are contracted to have 12 focus groups, and we put a list so we all can talk about it. Would you all like to go one by one, just real quick, and see if everyone is in agreement with having that particular group? Or we're doing 12 focus groups, and by having 12, anybody can hopefully fall into those 12 to include. So would you all like to do that? Just a recommendation.
I have a
Because
question.
both of them will be Zoom, right?
I'm on site October 16th and 17th, but if we have to do a Zoom, we can have
Yeah,
one on Zoom if needed, but we are contracted to have 12.
yeah, that parental thing would be great. Because it'd be hard to get them all in
Yeah,
here.
Dr.
But
Lynn,
having
she's
the
over
president
there.
and Zoom, president and Zoom.
But I have a question. So if you do the CAN in the central office, can that be one?
It can be, absolutely.
That came up in our discussion.
We talked about that.
They're in the same
Yeah,
building,
yeah,
right?
same go.
So we'll do that as one,
Yeah, absolutely.
okay?
Yeah.
So high school and middle school students, would you want that blended as well for two?
Separated, two
I think they
different-
should be separate.
Okay, so we'll keep high school, and then we'll keep middle school.
Bring the administrators together. Or you're gonna have
School
some-
administrators,
Are y'all gonna meet them
the
face to face?
16th and 17th, we're gonna have the
In
groups
the
here.
afternoon?
Oh, after,
Okay.
yes. So we'll have that group, so that's our
Because
fourth
so
group.
many teachers, you have a Zoom.
And then school administrators. Teachers, we have up there, we can do as an open forum, as a Zoom, and let teachers just log in, do it as a Zoom.
Because it's so many.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's so many of them, seem like that could be divided up either between schools or between high school, middle school, and elementary school teachers. Because they have
Elementary and
different
secondary.
concerns. Right, elementary, secondary, they need to be broken up.
But if you, question, if you break it up, is it gonna make the number larger? Or
We're contracted to do 12, but we've combined some groups at the top, so.
Can you do secondary and elementary separate, because they don't have different concerns.
If you do, you have to eliminate.
Well, it's a few things up there we probably could.
Would you like to go through all of them, and then we'll count, and we'll split the
But
two
that's a
and see
good
what we
idea,
have?
because when you combine those two, that helps a lot.
Right.
Yeah, but
What you say, Mr. Miller?
So we have 6 so far, okay.
Because people can't hear. Oh, okay. Go ahead. So what about city council?
Yeah, city council, we have separate, okay? Then town hall for all community members.
I think that's needed.
Is that only one day?
That's just.
Well, we're gonna set up the schedule, we're here for 2 days, the 16th and 17th. Just one day.
Now, if you go through the whole community and then go back and do parents, that's almost the same thing, those are the same people. So if you can do the town hall and that include the parents, because that gonna be the community anyway. And, or you want one with just parents, period. What do you wanna do, the town, one with the whole community or just parents?
I think with parents should be a separate issue.
And that's what I'm asking, do you wanna, if you wanna do it like that, so that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, now the Petersburg Association of Neighborhoods, is that,
You can scratch, I think you can scratch that, we're not gonna get a neighborhood association that.
Is that part of town hall?
And it's too many.
okay, so
they
we'll
can
scratch
be
out.
part of the community.
They did part of the community, there you go,
So the full board's recommendation is to switch out.
yeah, that'd be a part of the community.
So remove number 9, they'll be part of town hall.
Got it, yep.
Okay.
All community.
Is it Kiwanis? Kiwanis?
Good, that's good.
Are they part of the town as well?
They are,
The
they're very
Kiwanis,
close to town.
it's another group,
They be doing
we
that.
can't leave, they need to, come on, help me.
Rotary.
Mr. Blunt.
Rotary.
This is a Rotary. This is not, this is.
Why couldn't you combine them?
Can you combine the two together? Can you combine Kiwanis and the Rotary together? When you invite both groups together?
So we'll put Kiwanis/Rotary/Rotary. So 10 is Kiwanis/Rotary. Okay. And communities in school, we have up here. community and schools live with another group? I'm not sure that we've already talked about, or
It's small.
small.
Yeah, that's a small group. Plus what they do in support of the schools, they can, but we know what they do, because we have them in each school.
Right.
I don't think that's a waste. You know, it's just a few of them, but.
But I think board member Miles is saying, I think adding, you know, who else, because that group is small, who else, if we wanna maximize those 2 days, who else could we add, like the wine?
The wine.
So that we can have that, and that would be a larger group.
The
The YMCA.
YMCA. Okay, community and schools / YMCA.
And do we still have a boys and girls club, right? Are they in the school?
And it's only about 2 or 3 of them.
2 or 3 of
So
them?
they,
But they could be in that, they could be in that group,
Okay,
YMCA,
Boys and Girls Club added to number 9.
and that's the support, basically.
so how many spaces do we have left now, even though?
I have that as being 10. Let me double check. 1, 2.
Just a quick reminder while you're doing your counting, if there's Zoom meetings, we can do them outside of the 2 days that we're there. So we're willing to do a few more than 12.
Alright, we can do a few Zooms if we have to go beyond, because right now I show we're at 10. Is that what you showed, Dr. Brown? We're at 10? We're at 10. Could we combine 1 and 2, and we took out 9?
Can you see me changing it in real time?
Yes.
Okay. So right now I'm showing that we have 13.
Oh, we just stopped at number 9, though, I want to make sure, so we have 3 more
But what I'm
slots
saying
available.
is, even if you kept all 13, you have at least 2 that are Zoom. So we could do all 13, you wouldn't need to cut.
Okay. So let's go through 10 through 13 to see if we want to still keep those groups, or if you think they can.
Yeah, I have another one to ask about. How about higher ed? We have Bright Point, Richard Blaine, and Virginia State. Where would they fit?
We did talk about that. Would they go with the, well, communities in school, YMCA, no, they're more like educational instead of preschool.
Education.
Did you say that there's several institutions of higher ed
Yes.
within Petersburg?
Yes. Yes.
There are 3.
So that would most likely be a Zoom meeting too.
Like me at communities in school, YMCA, and all of them, you can add him to that. I'm a part of that. And because they're another support group. So all of them are being put together. Boys and girls. Did you hear what I said?
I'm sorry.
Concerned Black Men, you
Board
can
Member
put them
Miles.
with communities in
Concerned
schools,
Black
Tri-City, all of them are support groups in Petersburg.
Okay,
So they could, number 10 could be with number 9.
okay, to combine that.
Combine them together. But that's a support group.
So we'll take group 10 and move them up to 8?
Nah, put them with council 10 and put concerned Black Men in number 9.
Okay, I say with communities, okay.
Right.
So it's 10 to 9, okay.
So that give you 13 again.
It's okay.
Yeah, concerned Black Men in.
Where do we decide to place higher ed if you would like to include them?
There
Put
you
them
go.
at 10.
Is that a large enough group to have their own?
Yes.
I think so.
They do
Okay.
have 3 colleges, universities.
So higher education will add.
Yeah, you gotta be in the state pension plan, right?
Okay, so higher education is added, that's great. And then we have 3 more groups, the Parent Advisory Council, we put Zoom possibly, so they can go through Zoom if that's okay. Then we have a faith-based group, and then the Petersburg Education Association, those would narrow down to 3. What are your thoughts on those? We could do a Zoom as well, unless they can come in on the 16th or 17th. We could do a Zoom as well. It's up to the best way you think we can reach them, if they could come on site, or they can do a Zoom and log in.
So are we keeping, what are we keeping, so I see the Zooms, which are perfect for these groups, so is that included in the 12? But I did hear Dr. Brown say that you would do a couple of more via Zoom. So this is 13 at this moment, and so, you know, is there anybody else that we are missing that needs to have an opportunity to weigh in and to get feedback from?
The only thing I can think of is, anything, any support things that we use, during the year, like the police, the EMS, stuff like that. You know, fire department that service us, something like that, if they had some concerns of interest in how they service us, because they do service us a lot. So that 911 would be an interest to me to get their feedback, you know, because they not only stationed here, but they in and out all the time, and all the events and different things. I would like to get, that would be another interest to me to see what they have.
And perhaps they can fall into town hall, because what's gonna happen is, we're identifying the groups,
Right.
but the division have the templates and letters who you will send out to whoever you think will make up that town hall, all communities. So
Okay.
even after we agree right now that these are the 13 categories, because we're doing some with Zoom, when the divisions send the notifications out that we're gonna be on site or do Zoom, you will decide on who makes up that group. So that's a decision that can come later. We just wanna agree on the categories, if that's okay. I wanna make that clarification.
That's fine, we just wanna make sure letters go out to those groups.
Right, absolutely.
So
So we got a recommendation, I don't know about, I can ask the board members, Petersburg, do we have a Chamber of Commerce, or is that included?
Yes, we do.
It's combined.
Yes.
Okay, it's combined, okay.
What about one of the really effective programs for me was that panel discussion of, this was right after there'd been, I can't remember, a big crime situation. This was about 2 to 3 years ago, and all of the, people who connect with kids were on that panel, I say all, that had some input around, kids' safety and the law. And so should we not combine some of those folks somehow, or have a particular, because I think education and, you know, parents and kids' performance, you know, the law is a big factor.
So how long are you anticipating, how long are you anticipating the community forum? How long will that be?
We're thinking an hour for each one. If I'm on site for 2 days,
Only an hour?
maybe an hour, or a little over an hour, because we're gonna try to do 6 each day. If we're gonna have 2 days that we're contracted to do, and we had 12 groups. So some might go a little over, which is okay, but we wanna kind of have the timeline straight, because we wanna be respectful of the time of those who are coming. So when you send the invitations out, if we say 1 o'clock, we don't want them waiting around till 2:30. So we're gonna have six groups, but the Zoom ones can go a little over, because that's Zoom. And we can do Zoom on a separate day if we need to, just to make sure on site, we perhaps say an hour and a half. We can look at the timeline and do the 2 that are Zoom, we can just have a separate day and don't include those on the on-site, and do the Zooms maybe the next day to allow more time for an hour or hour and a half possibly. But we have 2 days on site.
It's just that, the only reason I'm thinking about what Ms. Proctor said for the community one, which they would fit also, is just that I know an hour is not gonna be enough time for the community, because I can think of a lot of groups, and Ms. Miles, all of us, a lot of individuals and groups that are not up here, which we know that would fall into the community, which we will give the names to Dr. Gay to reach out to them and invite them, so I don't think an hour is enough time for them.
We're flexible, that's fine, and I'm recommending, if you're okay with it, that perhaps we take the 3 Zoom groups, even if needed, and just have them on a separate day. You just maybe do it the 18th, I could look at the schedule, do it a separate day and save the on-site time to allow for perhaps an hour and a half. But I think going beyond, between an hour and a half and 2 hours, we just wanna make sure the timing. But I'm okay with that if that's what the board.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
The format for the meeting, because if they're gonna be doing a lot of verbal inputs, it's gonna take up a lot of time. It's gonna be something they can, submit their ideas and different things like that. You have to format the meetings where that they have an opportunity to do it like in text or writing or something like that, because if everybody wants to speak, it's gonna be very, long.
Yes, we have a link that's gonna be, that the division is gonna set up for community input as a link as well, because we know everyone can't make it to the group, but there will be a link that, we recommended that the division have, that people have a certain time frame to comment on with the guiding questions. So we will have input from on-site, focus groups, and community at large or as a whole through that link, absolutely.
Dr. Holland, is it, am I correct that maybe what I'm envisioning is that this was gonna be an interactive type session where it's not just people talking, but I don't know if it's people gonna be at tables or at chart paper or whatever the way it is, that you're gonna collect feedback in so many different ways. You're gonna hear from people verbally, but also something where people have to work together and talk to each other at a table or in a space and generate ideas together. I know you all may not have already kind of structured out what all the meetings are gonna be, because we just started this work, but if I could request that we do something and figure out where these locations are, things that are on site, so it is, and there are some levels of engagement together so that you can get more information, in addition to following up with the actual link as well as another layer of getting feedback.
Absolutely. There are various ways of gathering that data. We can have chart paper up with markers and guiding questions and have them, that's the teacher and the college professor, and you do the 4 corners, everyone go to a different corner, have a few minutes with a different guided topic. Within that time frame, absolutely. Give them time to rotate and collaborate, and absolutely. So we'll get it from the telephone calls, the focus groups, and the community as a whole, because they'll have that link, so absolutely. It'll be engaging. And Dr. Brown, would you like to? What, the conversation protocols? Are you muted? I don't think we can hear you. We can't hear you, but it's okay. Oh, that's okay, she can't hear it, but it's okay. But we're gonna establish some rules up front before we meet, so we make sure everyone, some of the norms as we talk about, make sure everyone's respectful, and those norms will establish. So we just want to make sure that we let you know that, yes, Superintendent Brown, thank you for bringing that up, because absolutely it's gonna be engaging.
One of the things that I was thinking about as a recommendation is often we think about representatives of instruction and student support, but one thing that might be missing is physical health. Maybe the Crimson Clinic could be a part of the conversation. When we did a couple of months ago, when we talked about attendance and what's contributing to our chronic absenteeism, a lot of our students are chronically ill. So that's just a suggestion to the board on a group such as the Crimson Clinic being a part of the conversation.
That's a good one, Dr. Gay. Now here comes another suggestion. How about if we take the Parent Advisory Council and we say the all school board advisory council or committees, put all the committees, I think it's only like 5, and invite them, and you would have everyone represented. You have your health, your gifted, your parent, CTE.
Dr. Brown is noting it right, so what?
Special education, yes, you have all of those in there. If you said the school board advisory committees.
Okay, yeah, Dr. Brown, if you could add the school board advisory committees along with number 10. Thank you.
You can take the parent advisory council off because they are part of that.
And we'll back off the parent advisory advisory council, they're part of it, great, thank you. Collaboration at its best, that's what this is all about, absolutely. We think it all through together. It looks good.
So are you still looking at 3 days? You're looking at 3 days?
We do 2 on site, and then we'll do a Zoom on the 3rd day for those who can't.
And I have a question, and I know this may be, I may have to direct that to Laura Newton, our person, but I just wanna find out, if we needed an additional day, we can certainly focus and talk with, have Laura Newton speak to, HYA, if we'd like to add another in-person day, if it's allowable in you all's schedule. We have that option as well, right? If we
Absolutely.
to have one more down on the ground for the community. And so we may consider that, asking for an additional day, and we know we have to go back and know how Ms. Newton to follow up.
Absolutely.
Is that possible? Okay, great, thank you.
Because you're thinking having it more impactful instead of Zoom, having it interactive and more collaborative.
I mean, but having the Zoom option so that it supports, working families and time and all the things, but also having another day so that people don't feel like this is your only day, we have another one. So just wanted to make sure that there was an option, if possible, to add a 3rd on-the-ground day.
Absolutely.
But keep the Zoom day, and I'll have Ms. Newton reach out.
Absolutely. Yes, thank you for that. Awesome. And that's great, because are we agreeing that this is the group and everyone will fall in this group that we need to add? Because the great part is the next section, number 3, talks about the community survey that we kind of talked about a little bit. So we could scroll down to number 3. Oh, I'm sorry, do we want to vote? Do we vote on it? I don't want to move ahead. Do we vote and agree on
Just
this
do
next?
consensus.
Consensus, we're okay?
Uh-huh.
Great. And thank you again, Dr. Brown, for making real-time adjustments. So 3 goes right into the community survey that we talked about. Once this is approved, the division will send out the survey. I must perhaps have it definitely on the division website as a link. And those are the various areas that we looked at as far as data will be disaggregated by the following groups of the community surveys. So but they go out to the community, but we're gonna look at data and it's gonna focus on those areas, the various stakeholder groups, what we put out in the survey.
So this gonna happen after the interview?
Now, this is going on from September 24th to October 17th, which is our time frame.
You already had survey made up?
Mr. Move closer to your mic, they can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. So the surveys are already made up?
We're gonna work, once you get the approval, we have some templates at HYA we haven't shared with the division yet, but once we get through this step to saying it's okay, we will then forward it to the division, and you can go ahead and get that link out with the surveys. At this moment, it's not ready to be posted, because we need to share our draft and template with the division. And we need to hear the discussions and input now that we're having. But that's the time frame we're gonna give, like the 24th is tomorrow, but give and take a day or 2, we'll have it open until the 17th. We need to have a frame of time set out for that, so people won't feel rushed, and we allow time to get several notifications, like if notifications go out, let's just say Friday, then maybe every Friday until the 17th as a reminder to parents and families in the community that that's out there, but have it posted on the division site.
I guess I tell you why I asked that question, did you have surveys already made up? Because so many times when people do surveys and you're trying to accomplish something, if you don't ask the right question, you would never get the right answer. So the thing is that's why I was wondering, and what it is we're trying to accomplish in the critical action plan. I was just wondering, if you had an idea, if you already had questions made up to accomplish that, to get the right feedback, and the things that this community need or challenge, the challenges that we had. The administration already approved the survey and looked at it and think this would accomplish that. You already looked at the survey?
So we're in the process now of finalizing and taking a look, because I know that the surveys for strategic plans, I think, ask some of the similar type questions, so we haven't finalized yet. So we're looking at some of the best practices from what surveys that they've had before, because they've done this work across the country. And so typically, regardless of some of the challenges, large districts, urban districts, some of the same types of questions, I'm sure have not been asked before, right? And so Dr. Gay and I and the team are taking a look at it to make sure, because it's only one piece of data.
That's right.
Remember, it's focus groups, it's the phone
That's
calls,
right.
it's the,
That's
the
right.
conversations. So as we notice, people sometimes don't always take advantage of the survey, but they may take advantage of coming in person or getting on Zoom. And so that's just one part of our multiple measures as we collect information. But I am pretty confident. If you remember when I first came in, we did a survey with community on the state of the school division. We had great response. And the way the questions were structured, they asked some of the same kind of questions in 4 or 5 different questions from what I remember, so that if you missed it on question 2, you got it in a different way on question 5 or question 9. And so at the end of the day, they were able to compile it, and you were able to get to the answers that people wanted to share with you, because they wrote it in so many different ways. Am I correct, Dr. Brown and Dr. Holland? That's what I've seen from surveys like this.
Absolutely. It's a piece of data and part of the data that we're gonna meet with the steering committee on, and then we'll present to you. We're gonna disaggregate all that data. And then after we discuss this piece, the data scan data that's gonna be analyzed and presented to you is also part of the data. So it's just another piece of data that we have. It's not just that one piece that will tell the story. We'll present it all to you in a summarized format when we present it on December 3rd to you, all the data.
But your feedback is definitely taken. We'll just make sure
Absolutely.
we do, make sure that we continue to do a deep dive to make sure that the questions will get at what we're asking. But again, they ask it in so many different ways. We want to make sure that our parents and community have multiple opportunities in that survey to be able to answer the question in a way that's comfortable for them. And I think they're really flexible with the survey questions, but you still got to make sure that they're reliable and valid, and it really, falls in line with you being able to use those answers in alignment with what we're asking. Is that right? 18? Okay.
Superintendent, I just want to tag what you're saying. You sound like a data analyst. Truly, that was very clear. Just a picture of what's happening with the data. As we were going through this, think of it as snowballing, right? As you collect data along the way, the snowball gets bigger. And that is the purpose of us collecting data. In research, the validation is asking the question in different ways. That's how you're validating responses. This is a true response from a particular person or a particular community. So as we are creating the survey, and that was a really good question, Board Member Miles, is that the reason why it's not complete right now is because we have data to collect. And that survey is going to be relative to the information that we received from our stakeholder groups, from our administrators, from our parents, from our students. So again, we'll be collecting data along the way up until the end. So just wanted to state that.
Okay, then the next section, we're gonna take a look at the various data that Dr. Jackson and your team have been sending us and been uploaded in our shared Google Drive, and we've already started analyzing some. And I won't read the list to you. I know you have it in front of you. If you could do a slow scroll and you can just take a look at the various data that we're collecting. And they're categorized in various sections, like various student achievement and academic data. We have various data points there. Student engagement and attendance data, behavior and climate, college and career readiness, student support data, equity, demographics, staff, human relations, finance, operations, and family community engagement. And there are like 5 to 8 bullets under that of the various data that we're collecting that will be summarized for you as well. And again, thank you to Superintendent Brown, Dr. Gay, and Dr. Jackson and the team, because they've already started sending us data for us to start plugging everything in the folder. Any questions about the various data that we have noted there? And again, this data will be summarized along with the other data, because this is all to have that strategic plan for the next 5 years.
I have a quick question about the staff and human resources. I'm assuming that is data around teacher
Retention.
attendance, Any other information? So that's, I'm assuming that's what that is for.
Absolutely.
Okay, gotcha.
Looking at all various data, absolutely.
Experience levels, I don't know if we collect all of that, I don't know, but I guess Dr. Lane.
Dr. Jackson is sending us that as well as and the other team members. Absolutely. Whatever data that you have that we can look at to help make this a very livable, breathable document.
And it's not just data from 1 year, is it?
Trend data.
Okay, trend.
Oh, absolutely. Trend data.
So which one? Go, let me see. Go back down, come back down. What was the first one? Student achievement. Okay, where would school safety fall in? That's part of our board goals for 25, 26. 26 goal is safety.
We probably fall under the
Behavior and climate.
We fall under that.
That's what we were thinking about.
Can you put that in parentheses, Dr. Brown? If you could add, safety data.
No, you're talking about up with behavior.
Oh, with behavior and climate, please.
Behavior and climate.
So I think you're.
That's
gonna-
already under student, oh, she's doing,
Sure.
Oh, you
she's
can't
gonna,
do none of
she's
that.
probably
She
gonna
can't
take it out. She can't hear me.
Bullet point.
Oh, it's okay.
I see what you're doing.
But I'll,
So you can take up behavior.
yeah, she did, she heard it, sorry. Thank you, Dr. Brown. She said it's a process, huh? Thank you for that, absolutely that.
There you go.
Absolutely. Oh, she getting you his name. Thank you. Thank you for not putting that in all caps. Dr. Brown, you can speak if there's something did you want to share anything? Uh-oh. Just say you have to unmute. Are you muted? It's okay. I didn't know if you want to share anything. And then actually, team, oh, she can't unmute, that's fine. And then actually, the next section is pretty much the timeline unless you want to take a look at the timeline, we've already established the timeline. And again, I'll just recap the next steps. The next steps are, again, now that we have this, and this is an agreed upon next step document, so we're on our timeline schedule, which is great. So now what we're gonna start doing is gathering the other data, get the survey out. On the 16th and 17th is when we'll be back on site to do those focus groups. And the division has the community toolkit. And if you could please take it back to the presentation, I think we had a couple more slides. Just to
I
count.
have a quick question
Absolutely.
while we're transitioning. And so I know that, in developing strategic plans and understanding, it doesn't necessarily mean that everything gets thrown out. The baby doesn't get thrown out with the bathwater. Is that
Absolutely.
correct?
Absolutely.
So for example, if Petersburg has a vision, is it that we're getting feedback on the vision that we have so that we can make sure that everybody's on the same page, but we might need to, in addition to that vision, we might need to be adding our core values or our core norms. So it doesn't mean that we're gonna start from scratch with every single thing with the vision, mission, core values. We may have a compelling vision, right? We need to now talk about the mission and purpose of our school division in relation to that vision and the 5-year plan, and then establishing what are our core values and core norms that will help us as we build the plan. I just wanna make sure that we're not necessarily in every aspect, that we're not starting from scratch. There are some things that we already have and we believe in,
Absolutely.
as relates to our vision. Then what are we doing with that? What is the role of this work? And is it either solidifying that in relation to the mission and to the core values and building the plan? I just wanna make sure I just wanna clarify that everything is not being thrown out. Because we're not starting at ground zero.
Absolutely.
We have some things that we can leverage.
Absolutely, so thank you for bringing that up, because absolutely, you have things that are in process, and the purpose of this is to take a look at what do you have, what can you add, what can you stop doing, what can you merge, because we're taking the whole picture of all data sources, all stakeholder groups are included. So what's gonna happen next is, again, the steering committee on November 7th, so the division, you all decide who's gonna be that steering committee, Superintendent Brown, because that's the important group. Well, all groups are important, but that's the group that we're gonna come on site November 10th and 11th and meet with all this data. And we're gonna sit and go through what you currently have, what does the data say, and then we're gonna go from there. We're gonna look at the mission, vision, and all that, and if it's aligned with what the steering committee, so it's important that you have the key people on that committee for those 2 days to really go through and dig deep and roll our sleeves up. And then that's when we'll present it to the board on the 3rd, and for the board to take a look at. But to get back to your question, absolutely, we're not gonna start from scratch. We're gonna look at best practices and the great things that are going on now, and things you might wanna tweak and need to add based off the data.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect, thank you. And so this steering committee, just for clarity for everyone, is very similar to our calendar committee.
That's right.
And so we had a very cross-functional team that had, across the school division, inclusive of principals, teachers, administrators, but we also had some community members who were a big part of that and to help us kind of draft out that work and do the deep dive and rolling up the sleeve to look at our calendar work. And so I think that is just for the board members to know that it's very similar to the calendar committee that we had here for when we drafted our 26, 27, and our 25, 26 school calendar. So we'll be pulling together that team. I think it's gonna be no more than how many, Dr. Gay, right now we're planning for it to be effective? I think it's no more than 15. And so that is our internal team that will be working, and of course we will have some community members, and we'll be talking with, we'll have to find out how many community members we need on that team so that we can begin this work and ready to receive all the data that you all will be sifting through and analyzing so that we get a good current reality of Petersburg based on the data that you all have been able to take a look at.
And inclusive of all stakeholder groups, so thank you for that also, absolutely. And that pretty much concludes it, and again, the next steps is we're gonna proceed with phase 2. Are there any other questions for myself or Dr. Brown as we proceed? Again, the division has the communication toolkit with all the letters and to invite everyone, and I'll see you again on the 16th and 17th.
So just clarifying, our communications team, Ms. Bonnier, you'll be sending out the communications and everything to, so our team will be working to do the blast and the communication around this work, around our strategic plan, is that correct?
And if you could please, by October 27th, per our timeline, send the email links to Dr. Brown and I, the members of the steering committee, so we can give them access to that folder with where all the data is going to be stored. And then on November 7th, we'll get that out. So yes. Okay.
All right, well, thank you so much, Dr. Holleran and Dr. Brown. Thank you so very much for coming this afternoon. Thank you, Dr. Gay, for your work. This is exciting work because this is going to, again, lay out our roadmap for Petersburg City Public Schools. And what I love about a strategic plan is it keeps us all focused on where we're going and what we have committed to here in Petersburg. And so I also love the fact that it allows you to easily measure and manage and be able to communicate with everyone what is our purpose and what we're trying to get done. And so you can also get people to buy into your work and support you when they know exactly where you're going, how you're planning to get there, and how you're measuring how far, how close you've come to achieving the goals that we've laid out for kids, because that's what we do this work.
Absolutely.
So thank you all very, very much. We look forward to this work. Thank you all for your feedback, board members.
Yeah, and, the superintendent, I looked at the plan that you had, I'm in 100% support of the thing that you presented when you first came here, as far as your visions, and I know it would make Petersburg better. The reason why I joined the board is hopefully this strategic plan will help us reach the goals that you have already set. Because to keep it simple, if we're gonna make Petersburg a great place to live, it's gonna have to be a great place to raise a child and educate a child. So we are vital, critical in this community for us to grow for this community, because that's very important. But one thing that I always, when I go around from place to place, different locales, even around the country, when you have employees that work in the school system and they want their kids in that school system, that tells me a lot about the school system. Because when the place where you choose to raise your child or educate your child, that's one of the most important decisions you make, because that child can't make that decision. You gotta choose what's best for that child. So I use that as a measuring stick, minute play times when I talk to different people from different places and evaluate things when it comes to the school system, because my kids are making those decisions right now with my grandkids. So that's how important, and it's important to them, and it's super important to me. So the critical action plan, if it does anything, it should encourage people to, and we got so many ways to promote Petersburg that we don't promote Petersburg. And that if we do it in the right way, you can promote this school system, because we do a lot of great things. But it seems like always the negative things get promoted. And see, I just don't understand why the negative always be the one. I guess that's what people want to read about. I don't know. But the bottom line is, Petersburg Public Schools is doing so many great things, and if you look at it, if you can't even, other school systems don't even compare to some of the positive things that you're doing. I'll give you one example. Middle college. We have over 40 students over there. If you look at the class those two classes, junior and seniors, that means we got over 10% of that student population in middle college. No other high school can claim that in the state. But the thing is, the opportunity here is greater than it is that same thing if you look at other things that we do. But the thing is that, how do we promote that? How do we promote opportunity that Petersburg offers the kids that other school systems, that's in a greater volume than other places? But we gotta focus on our positive things as well as the things we need to improve so we can promote it. So people, when they make decisions about their kids, I know some people that came here just for the kids to put in the 8th grade so they could go to government school. Now, I know Mr. Pritchett knows the same thing. If that happened, they would put their kids in Petersburg Public School for 1 year because they know the opportunity to get in government school is greater here in Petersburg because we have more seats, as the number of kids that we have. And that's including Appomattox and Mega Walker. So the thing is that we got a lot of nice things going on, but we need to make sure that people know the thing is that this is a good place to live too and raise a child.
And Mr. Miller, I agree with that 100%. I think that is not just a PCPS issue. I think people need to know that Petersburg, the city, is a place to live and grow and put their kids in. And I think you say it all the time, is that we have got to be a united Petersburg. I say that because we can't be divided and individual. Everybody here has to believe in what we're trying to do. And so I think what I can say is, Mr. Pritchett probably knows it, and other board members, people are paying attention. They're leaned in. They may not say it, they may not have moved or moved their kids, but they're paying attention, they're curious. And so for me, it's about piquing that curiosity to actually look and say, what is Petersburg doing? What are they doing? We are doing a lot of great things, you're absolutely right, and we're trying to tell that story, but you show people better than you can tell them sometimes.
That is so true.
And so you have to keep pushing the narrative, and then you gotta do the things we say we're doing. And they're gonna be challenges, because there are challenges everywhere. This is an urban core school division. And so, again, the work that we're doing to set a stage for a 5-year roadmap outlives anybody. It doesn't matter who, it's the what we're going to do for kids and what our pledges and commitments. So it doesn't matter, Lord and behold, anything ever happens to anybody. This is where we say Petersburg is going, and it's irregardless of whoever sits in any seat. This is the direction that we're gonna go, and here's what we're focused on, so that when people come and say, hey, you wanna do this, hey, you wanna do that, that may sound great, but if it is not focused on our 5-year plan, it may not be the right thing. And we can say with certainty that this is what we as a collective said was gonna be our focus. And that's what we're gonna stick to. And so this is exciting work. So again, I wanna thank the HYA team, Dr. Holleran and Dr. Brown, because this is serious work. This is what removes all doubt and ambiguity about why we're here and what we're trying to do. So thank you.
Okay, we appreciate it. And I'll see you in Norfolk at homecoming. She's a Spartan, you missed it. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Mr. Miles, second.
Ms. Brown?
Ms. Brown.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you.